Boom! Alright, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about Bitcoin and why I believe it looks poised to rally over the course of this Memorial Day weekend. And considering I'm feeling short to medium term bullish on BTC, I also want to give you guys my upside price targets for the month of June, as well as a couple of different scenarios that I see playing out for price action over the next few weeks. All right, so gonna get straight into it, you guys. This one is gonna be short and sweet, keeping it strictly technical, strictly to Bitcoin on the charts on TradingView. So let's just dive in. But before I do, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if for some reason you're not already. All right, so Bitcoin has been trading relatively sideways for the past couple of weeks now, and knowing growth markets, you guys, especially following long periods of extreme volatility, which we have been seeing over the past couple of months, the longer you go sideways, the more a significant move in either direction becomes, okay? So at this point, considering we have been trading in this range from about $28,000 to about $31,000 for quite a while. Again, the past 2 weeks since, we'll call it May 12th to today, which is May 28th. Over 2 weeks, we have been trading in this range. It seems extremely likely that a move, once again, a significant move at that, is likely in the very, very near future. Okay, again, the longer we go sideways, the longer we're building up some energy, the more energy is going to be expended when the move in either direction actually comes. Okay, and a lot of people have been feeling bullish. If you've been watching my videos recently, I've been talking a lot about the fear and greed index and a lot of almost under the surface metrics when it comes not only to BTC, but actually primarily the markets. And Bitcoin, for the first time in quite a while, over the past few days, specifically the past few trading sessions, has actually broken correlation to the equity market. So Bitcoin yesterday was down, and it brought the entirety of the crypto markets down with it. But if we scroll up here and take a look at the indices, at the equity indices, so the S&P 500 up 2.5%, the triple Qs, the NASDAQ 100 up over 3%. So the equity markets actually had an amazing day on Friday, but Bitcoin and stuff was down. So I do want to say, although they did break correlation briefly, I do think they will regain correlation. It only makes sense. The reason I will say right up front that equities are winning, growth stocks specifically are winning, while the crypto markets were seeing red, is primarily, at least in my opinion, the primary reason for that is because in a market where money is becoming more and more scarce, dollars are being a lot more thoughtfully deployed than they were in the past couple of years, because capital was so reckless when it was just being thrown around and printed and handed out, stimulating the economy and whatnot. Now people are a lot more thoughtful. And the crypto markets, although I believe in crypto for the long term, you guys know that, the crypto markets are based on a lot more on potential as opposed to present day profit metrics. Okay, these companies aren't profitable, okay, and they don't necessarily provide value. I do think plays like, especially Render is a great example of this, Ether too. Render and Ether do provide tangible value in Web3, and they'll definitely provide exponential value as the markets grow and Web3 progresses. But right now, there's just so much focus on companies that are providing value right here, right now, because once again, money is becoming more scarce, and that's just my 2 cents on, and it has to be an objective truth as to why the equity markets and actual companies or stocks are appreciating, while crypto is seeing a little bit more pain. Okay, but to wrap this up, I don't think that'll last long. I did just say I'm bullish on Bitcoin, which I am over the short term. I do think cryptos, especially our favorite plays like Render, Mana, etc., Ether, will bounce back over the short term along with Bitcoin. I just wanted to let you guys know that, because we do talk a lot of macro, especially lately, because macro is especially important. But anyway, went on that little tangent, but I did feel it was important. Bitcoin, similar to the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, has been in an extremely fearful zone for quite a while. And the longer you stay in that extremely fearful zone, the more likely it becomes that you see a breakout to the upside. Okay, so I've said this on the channel before, and I'll say it again, but I do think this time will be different. Most times, Once again, especially when it comes to growth markets like Bitcoin and crypto. When you see a significant move down like this right here, followed by a period of sideways range trading, it's usually followed by an equal or greater move in the direction of that first move. Okay, so boom, fall off a cliff, sideways range trading. A lot of the times, especially if this is coming from a top, especially a lot of times, again, after the sideways range trading, it does print somewhat of a bear flag, again, pull, and then the like ascending triangle or just sideways range trading pattern. Once again, prints the bear flag, but again, big move down, range trading, followed by another move in that initial direction, which would be down. Okay, so on that note, it is still very, very possible that Bitcoin does see another wave down. I do think Bitcoin will see a price lower than $28,000. I do think personally Bitcoin will probably bottom out around $24,000, $18,000 at the lowest. I've seen some calls for like $8,000. That's ridiculous, but I do think 24,000 at some point over by the end of this summer is likely, and I do think that 18,000 is definitely possible. But again, I don't think that anything below 18,000 is in the cards unless something absolutely catastrophic happens. Okay, but anyway, let's talk about the short term and why I believe upside is more likely. Again, it is very possible we fall down. Everything's possible, but as a trader, as an investor, it is important to, again, use the data available to you to weigh the odds in your favor. Okay, and right now I think the odds are weighing in the favor of the bulls. Again, for all the same fundamental macro reasons I've been talking about that lead me to believe a relief rally was in store for the equity markets, which we are seeing down, which I still believe. The same principles apply to the crypto market. So again, extremely fearful environments. The longer you spend in an extremely fearful zone, the more unsustainable that extreme fear becomes. Again, extremes on either end are unsustainable. So the longer you spend in that zone of extremes, the more likely it is that you will bounce back out of that. Okay. On top of that, we did have some inflationary data that came out on Friday. A big reason the equity markets rallied. That same principle applies to Bitcoin as well. So Bitcoin, not gonna expand on those macros anymore. Just go watch a couple of my previous videos if you want more in-depth, a more in-depth breakdown of my macro arguments. But from a technical perspective, again, Memorial Day weekend. Salute to all the troops out there. If there are any of you watching, thank you for real. But again, you guys, Memorial Day weekend, 3-day weekend coming out of, again, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P all snapped their multi-week losing streaks, the worst since I believe like in a very, very long time. I think it was the 4th worst week ever for the equity markets, for the S&P at least, since its recorded history in 1928. Okay, so 4th worst week for the S&P, or 4th worst beginning 99 days for the S&P 500. There we go. Just shared that chart in the last video. But again, we did just break that last week. I do think, although Bitcoin did break correlation a bit, I do think it will follow. And I do think that we will see a little rally over the course of this Memorial Day weekend. I am releasing this a little early. So let me know if you guys are watching this on Memorial Day itself. Is Bitcoin above... I will say is Bitcoin above $32,000 because I believe that is possible by the end of Monday, by the end of Memorial Day, and definitely going into Tuesday. Okay, actually, I don't know about Tuesday, but let's break it down. Okay, so let's break down these price targets. I have 2 upside targets for Bitcoin that they do come pretty damn close, as well as this level back here, which has acted as a previous floor for Bitcoin. I do think this will come into play as a new ceiling. So if Bitcoin can test the overall line of resistance. This is a very obvious line of resistance that pretty much every trader is going to be looking at right here. Touch point on the March 30th high, multiple touch points on the way down. Boom, boom, right there, creating the line of resistance on Bitcoin's current downtrend. In the case that we hit this, in the case that we do rally on Memorial Day, May 3rd, actually, that's May 30th, actually, okay. In the case that we see a massive rally over the next couple of days, do I think this is very, very likely? I don't know. But do I think this could initiate by Memorial Day? I do. Do I think we can get to the top end of this range by Memorial Day? I do. Let me know if I'm right about that. Could be wrong. So we're really just throwing ourselves out there. But that's what making YouTube videos is about, right? So anyway, always know you guys, though, my money is always where my mouth is. I will never make a video where I don't believe what I'm saying at that time, but always remember that could change the very next day. So just keep that in mind. That's very important to remember. And that's actually what I've had to reiterate to a lot of my subscribers and Discord members, etc. Okay. So anyway, I do think that Memorial Day, we will at the very least the top end of this range. I do think that the equity markets will see some continued relief going into next week for all the reasons that I've been just repeating. And just repeating over and over again for the past few weeks now. But I do think that over the course, like by Friday, worst case scenario for Bitcoin by this upcoming Friday is going to be about $33,000 to test the overall line of resistance. If we can break that, that is very, very bullish. But I do want to see a closure above this previous line of support, which I do believe will come into play as new resistance. So if Bitcoin, just say June 5th, June 6th, can break $34,000, can close a 4-hour, even better daily candle above $34,000. I do think it's very likely we could see a quick jump up to about $37,000. And best case scenario for Bitcoin, and I will say best case because I do think that if we see this previous line of support right here tested as new resistance, which I do think is very likely and I do think could very well happen because it does come in line with this previous low prior to Bitcoin falling off a cliff earlier this month, or early in the month of May if you're watching this in June. I do think that Bitcoin could come up here, test this previous line of support, boom, touch point, creating this previous line of supports that will be tested as new resistance, set a macro lower high, and then go on to move lower, because I do ultimately think that if we do see continued upside, if we do see prolonged upside for the first half of this month, of the month of June, I do think that the latter half of the month going into July, we'll see a correction. But again, it's all dependent on when these price targets are hit. Maybe we see a slow climb up over the entirety of the month of June. But I will say that once this previous line of support is tested as new resistance, that is a good indicator as to when this short to medium term rally will be over and more downside. Again, maybe 24K is likely to follow that. Okay, so that is Bitcoin, you guys. And I do want to say, if you want the exclusive crypto convo, little Saturday special crypto convo newsletter that I will be writing right after this, covering Ether, Render, Mana, and Sand. Today is the last day or I should say, after Memorial Day is going to be the last day that you can utilize or take advantage, I should say, of the 7-day free trial of the newsletter and my complete portfolio. Okay, so that's the first link down in the description box below. On top of these newsletters, this was just the Friday. This was one of 3 newsletters that I write, again, every single trading day during market hours. We closed out last week with an absolute bang, you guys. Friday was one of the biggest days for my portfolio personally, which is, again, the Waves team portfolio. And again, you guys, it felt good. Last week was an amazing week. I trust that the week of June will be, or the month of June will be amazing as well. We have had crazy momentum over the month of May, and it feels so good following just the first part of this year was rough, you guys. But again, as long as you can stay in the game, and trust me, I got cleaned over the past year. Not cleaned, but I was in bad shape. Lost a lot of money, you guys. But as long as you don't get wiped out, as long as you practice proper risk management and just have enough to at least play, you can make a comeback. And the comeback has been very, very real and very significant and honestly life-changing money over the course of the month of May. And again, you guys have been working hard. And I trust and I'm confident in the fact that the month of June will be amazing as well. So if you guys want, once again, 3 newsletters every trading day during market hours. You want to know what I'm trading, why I'm trading it, along with the complete breakdown of my personal portfolio, which I update with my trades every day. That's the first newsletter. Update the portfolio, send out the trade alert newsletter, send out the primary newsletter, and then send out part 2 of the newsletter with all the charts and individual analysis. Current price targets, real-time price targets that I feel are important to you guys for the primary positions in the portfolio. And yeah, again, only a few days left, maybe a day left by the time you're watching this to take advantage of the free 7-day trial. Okay, so firstly, down in the description box below, appreciate if you guys check that out. If not, I appreciate you watching this time. Let me know in the comments down below if you are bullish on Bitcoin, if you're bullish on the markets, and what you have been buying on the dips that we've been seeing, because there are some great opportunities out there. And last but not least, happy Memorial Day. And once again, if there are any veterans out there, thank you for your service, for real. Okay, so we'll call it a day, you guys. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.